Bitcoin could have actually changed the trajectory on Bitcoin because we were waiting for lower prices. However, we had seen actually a strong pump on yesterday's price action at night. And I told you guys that if we break 91K, which is happened right now, I'm going to be expecting much higher. And I also just opened up a long on Bitcoin, I think 12 hours ago. Right now, we are in profits. I'm going to talk about the current price action, my expectation, and also why I think that if Bitcoin manages to hold on onto the 91K level, I'm still going to be predicting much higher price. I'm going to talk about the most most important to be holding support, which is at 91, and also my next targets on Bitcoin, how Bitcoin can actually very easily and very quickly go all the way higher to 97. And if 97 is broken, I think that the target will be a lot much higher than everybody would expect, because Bitcoin has been obviously super bearish for the past, I'd say, month or so, ever since we had made an all-time high at 126 point, I think 4. We had seen Bitcoin drop by a lot. However, we gotta understand, guys, that there will be a time, maybe this time, where the downtrend will break and a beginning of an uptrend will begin, guys. Hence why right now we're going to cover the possibility of this move being a possible change of structure, going from bearishness into bullishness, and why I held on and I opened even technically a late long, even though we weren't able to catch an exact good bottom on Bitcoin. I saw the price action at night. I saw how good of a strong move we had, and I waited for a little bit, just a little bit of a dump, and I immediately jumped onto a Telegram post, and I told you guys that I opened up a long trade, as you can see, even though I'm against giving blind signals, but I do want to be transparent, especially because we were covering quite extensively the bearish side on Bitcoin. Hence why when I opened up a long, I understand that even though it would be taken as a signal, but I want to be totally transparent. So I literally made a post after 4 or 5 hours of me making a little quick video. On that video from yesterday, guys, by the way, it was almost 9 minutes long, and we even went live for at least or almost 2 hours, guys. We spoke about how Bitcoin, even though yesterday Bitcoin was, by the way, guys, was at 87K. We spoke about the possibility and the potential of two things. First, I told you guys that if we actually manage to reclaim 87, 88, I'm going to first expect a quick pump all the way higher to 91. And if 91 is broken, if 91 is reclaimed, everything will flip on Bitcoin, because 91 isn't just an important little resistance line. To be honest, it is one of the most, or if not the most important support line, that if flipped as done right now, technically Bitcoin could see much higher price. Because if I want to quickly recap, why am I putting much emphasis on the 91 level? To be honest, as shared from yesterday, guys, that right now all I'm doing on Bitcoin on the high time frame is keeping it quite simple. I'm looking at the higher time frame range, as you can see, and then pulling a volume pull, as you can see, volume profile pull from the end of 2024 to the current price action. And we can clearly see that right now, with Bitcoin going above 91K, we are right now reclaiming the value area low, which is an important area. If held as support, I'm going to be expecting a strong rotation all the way higher. I'm going to talk about the technical way higher target, but first let me also cover the easy to maybe reach target, which is at 97K, the closest resistance line. Right now I'm going to be expecting a pump. Right now you gotta understand that I'm not saying that you should open a blind random long. If you got longs, please keep them open. If you had read the post on Telegram from yesterday, keep your longs open, as I'm doing right now. As I said, guys, by the way, I'm quite happy because we literally made a video titled 99% of traders will miss this Bitcoin move, because I do gotta admit that as a day trader, I am able, or I'm allowed, to change my bias, because bias would not make me money. Trades and the quick change of the bias will make me money, guys. Hence why, even though we had covered quite extensively, and I do admit that we spoke about the 67K target as a bearish target, but I always give you guys not a prediction, but an expectation, a bias, if something is held as support or resistance. So yeah, I do admit that 2 days ago we spoke about the 67K target if Bitcoin had held on to 91K as resistance. But yesterday I made a video and a live stream where we covered how easy it is to flip and change everything that would happen on Bitcoin. Because I said, guys, by the way, you gotta understand that if Bitcoin actually on a higher time frame gives us a low as done first, and then a higher low, and then we manage to flip 91 as support from resistance, we'll be also making a higher high. So notice how, like, on a lower time frame, Bitcoin right now is making a little bit of a bullish structure. We had making two higher lows and two higher highs, which is technically happening for the first time in a huge while. Also, right now we have covered or broken out of the 107 little downtrend, and finally and most importantly, us being able to reclaim and actually flip 91 into support is a massive move. Now I gotta like admit that I don't want to maybe spread too much bullishness, because you gotta understand, guys, that these could end up in a fake out. I'll never tell you to long right now, even though I'm expecting higher. You gotta understand that these are all, like, to be honest, like, needed to hold on to 91 for us to go higher. If 91 is lost, everything will be cancelled. We can easily like lose 91 and then go all the way lower to 87. But if 91 is held on, I'm going to be expecting 97, maybe try to short 97. But if we flip 97, I'm going to be, as I said, guys, from yesterday, I'm going to be waiting for a much higher increase. We can easily see 116k. I know, I do admit that it sounds crazy for me to say that, yeah, we got above 91, I'm going to be waiting for 116, but trust me, this is totally viable, because yesterday we've shared the idea of value area rotation. If we actually lose a value area, we reclaim 91, we're going to be targeting 116. This happened from, I think, April from the same year, 2025, and even happened on the flip side, on the all-time high. We had made a break out of the value area high, lost the value area high, which is the blue line, and then went all the way lower to the blue line. So every single time we lose a blue line, which is the value area low, we go above it, as seen from April, and as seen from the all-time high, we go above it, we're going to be targeting the other flip side of the value area blue line, which in this case is the value area high. So yes, I did change my bias. I was prepared and I made a plan with you guys yesterday to change our bias if something happens differently, and something did happen differently. I made a public post telling you guys I went long, so hopefully everybody made money along with me. Let's just wait and now watch if Bitcoin actually goes and keeps on going higher as we're holding on 91.